All right, so you want to paint your cabinets. I'm going to show you a little bit about our system and how we do it. I don't know how everybody else is painting their cabinets. I guess a lot of people are just taking a brush and just kind of slapping it on there. That's not what we do. Our House Makeover and Handyman Services, the company that I run with my wife, and we paint quite a few sets of kitchen cabinets. In order to do that, we use an airless paint sprayer. We do not use a brush. Now, there's a lot of paint out there that you can use that will lay down fairly well with a brush, and you'll lose some of the brush strokes. But honestly, there's nothing that will compare to an airless paint sprayer's finish. What we do is a very involved process. Even the smaller kitchens will not take less than 5 or 6 days to complete, and the larger kitchens can take over a week up to 10, 11 days. To start with, we have to plastic off everything in the room. Plastic off all the walls, put paper on all the floors, paper on the countertops, cover up the backsplash, take the doors off, take the hardware off, the hinges, the knobs, the pulls, all that stuff has to come off. We caulk every joint on every door and every drawer and every cabinet box. Wherever 2 cabinets meet, every piece of trim, everything gets caulked. Then we sand everything down. You don't have to sand it all down to the bare wood, but you do have to sand it enough to give it some teeth, to bite into the polyurethane that's on your stained cabinets, or at least rough up the paint surface of your already painted cabinets if you're repainting cabinets. The next thing that has to happen is you've got to dust all that off. You got to kind of wipe it down with a wet cloth to get all the dust and everything off of it. Then you're going through and you're spraying primer. And it really helps to have another room or a breakfast nook attached to the kitchen or something indoors that you can plastic all the way off and make it sort of like a paint booth, if you want to call it that. We call it like a prep room or a staging room, where you can lay out all the cabinet doors and all the drawers at one time on one side on sawhorses and 2x4s, so that you can go in and spray those. You spray them all with primer. We put 2 coats of primer. We like the Valspar primer. You can get it at Lowe's. It's excellent. Sands really well, covers really well, hides all those oil spots. You go through, you spray those. Next day you come in, you flip the cabinet doors over, you spray them again. Now we'll probably have at least a day in just getting everything plastic and papered off, and another day in sanding and caulking and getting everything set up. Then day 3 would be, the first primer. Day 2 would be flipping the doors and everything over and doing the backsides in primer. Then after that, you're going to resand everything again. You're just looking to smooth out that primer coat. Then the next step after that, of course, is to paint all of the cabinet doors on one side, all the drawers and the boxes. Now we usually put, if you look back behind me here, we've got our doors up. If you took that door off, you would see the opening. We have to paper off all of those openings too, so that we're not spraying the inside of the cabinets. There's no point in spraying the inside of the cabinets because you're going to be sliding stuff in and out of them all through the years. You're just going to leave drag marks and wear marks and things like that. So we don't spray the inside of the cabinets. Anyway, you're spraying the first coat of paint on all the doors and drawers. You're coming back the next day after those have dried, you're flipping them over, then you're spraying the backside. Everything gets 2 coats of primer and 2 coats of paint. And you want to let that sit for at least 24 hours to kind of cure and harden up. It gets harder as it sits. Then you can begin the rebuilding process, putting the hinges back on, putting the screws back in, putting the knobs and the pulls back on, then actually mounting the doors and putting the drawers back in place. And then if you have adjustable hinges, adjusting the doors. Now, one thing I recommend is it's not worthwhile to paint your cabinets if your cabinet integrity is not sound itself, if it's not worth saving. If you have, hinges that are coming apart that you can't paint hinges. You can't. They're not going to work well because they're in motion when you open and close the doors. So don't even think about that. So if you don't have hidden hinges, you don't have adjustable hinges, that's a strike. If your doors won't close all the way, if they won't line up, if some of your doors are warped or some of them are, your drawers aren't closing right correctly and you can't get the glides inside of them adjusted to do that, again, that's another strike. So all those little things add up. If your cabinets are sort of having a lot of water damage and things like that to where it's delaminating and it's starting to puff out, Again, that's another issue. It may be cheaper if you're hiring a professional to paint your cabinets in any way, unless you're doing it yourself. It may be cheaper or cost just about in the same ballpark to have your cabinets replaced. So those are decisions you have to make. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. All the pictures that I posted of the before, during, and after process. I have all the after pictures up for you so you can see the finished product of the transformation, how it turns out. If it's something you want to tackle, I'd highly recommend consulting somebody who knows what they're doing as far as painting and has an airless paint sprayer. This is not something that would be very easy for a layman or a beginner or someone who has never done it before to just take on, to go buy a sprayer and say, I'm going to do it myself. You can try it, and you may turn out okay. It depends on your personal acumen, but this is really a little bit more involved. And I hope this helps to show you just what you're getting into when you decide to paint your cabinets. Your kitchen basically gets taken over for a week. It's a lot of takeout and a lot of washing dishes in the bathtub, and you're not going to see the inside of your kitchen for basically a week. So it might be best to go on vacation that week and let your contractor paint your cabinets while you're on vacation. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time. Namaste, y'all.